Hi, this is Dina for Splitcoaststampers. In this video, I'll share how to make a hanging treat box. This is a tutorial by Christina Fisher that has been on our site since 2008, and it was time for an update. I've got a piece of cardstock here that's 5.5 by 11 per Christina's instructions. I'm going to score it at 4 inches and 4.5 inches, and then I'll rotate it and score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 4.5 inches, and 5 inches. I'm going to cut in from the sides to where the score lines meet, and that gives me some little tabs on the sides. And then I'll cut down the inner score line from the top to where I cut before. I did cut the little outer section of that tab away, and you don't have to do that since it won't be seen, but you can if you want. The next step of rounding the corners is optional, but I went ahead and pulled my little punch out for that. You could use a border die on the top if you wanted to as well. And then go ahead and fold on all the score lines so you're ready to shape the panel into a box shape. You can use a punch or a die to cut a hole for hanging your box. This die is about 1.5 inches, and I used my grid mat and an additional grid to get it centered before cutting. In the photo tutorial, she glues her box together first before decorating, but it seemed easier to me to decorate it first, so I've got some panels and die cuts prepared. The front of the box here is 3.5 inches by 4 inches, so my layering panels here are 3.25 by 3 3/4. And then 3 inches by 3.5 inches. And these stamps and dies are from Sugar Pea Designs, and you can find the card and product information over in the Split Coast gallery. You can use double-sided tape on the sides of the box. I used the Barely Art glue here, so I'd have a little bit of wiggle room to get my placement right. The box is 1/2 inch deep, so I used a 1/2 inch acrylic block to help get the corners square, and that was just right. Here is the finished box. I tucked a few markers in and hung it all on a bottle of paint, and I thought that would be a cute gift or favor. I had an idea for adjusting this project for a taller bottle or a taller filler, so here is that. The method is exactly the same, but I cut the base to 5.25 inches wide, so that I would have a 3.25 inch strip left from the sheet of cardstock. So I score again at 4 and 4.5 inches, and then the second scores are at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 4.25 inches, and 4 3/4. The cutting is all the same. Create the tabs, and then cut down on the inner score line. Fold on the score lines, and decorate the box. And the front panel of this design is 3.25 by 4. So my layering panels are 3 by 3 3/4, and then 2 3/4 by 3.5. These stamps are from Impression Obsession, and you will find more details in the gallery on this project as well. Once the box is formed, you've got that other strip that you can decorate and adjust to the height that you need. That strip as it's cut is 3.25 inches by 11 inches. So I cut a layering panel that is 3 inches by 10 3/4. I rounded the corners of both panels and glued them together. And then I die cut this circle opening through both layers. The height that I wanted for my box was 9.5 inches. So I cut 1.5 inches off the end, and then I glued that panel in place all the way down in the box. You can keep the 11-inch length, or you can glue that panel anywhere inside the box if you need it to be longer than 11 inches. This is another optional step, but I felt like I wanted a slight fold below the hole for a little better shape. So this isn't exact, but I eyeballed where the center of the hole was, and I doubled that number for my score line, and that worked for me. So the center of that fell right about 1.25 inches. I made my score line at 2.5 inches. So that's it. Thanks to Christina for her tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed this little update. Thank you so much for watching.